and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. Just the other day, it was Super Tuesday for the political campaigns, Republicans and Democrats, for the presidency of the United States, 2016. Well, we found out this morning that the Republicans, Donald Trump seems to be prevailing. Democrats, Hillary Clinton seems to be prevailing. And we are coming up on this Sunday. I hear it's going to be Palm Sunday. And I've asked many of you to come out and hear a presentation that I have for you that I'd like to offer, something that I want you to consider. And I would like to be able to tie them in together. And when I think about Palm Sunday, I think about a time when Jesus Christ was, according to the Word, living on earth. And he had gone through the earth backwards and forth and done everything really necessary for an average thinking person to recognize that he had connection with a source of power that was far beyond this earth. In other words, he had worked miracles, the kinds of things that others had not and have not been able to do. And that was to open the eyes of the blind, to make it possible for the deaf to hear. I heard somewhere that he even made the dead rise. All of these things to say what? To say that the people that you have been listening to, the Pharisees and Sadducees and others who were telling you the stories that they had heard about God, that they had heard about those brothers and sisters that came before them, had been contaminated, and that they were in the predicament that they were in because of the message that they had received that allowed them to be indoctrinated to a formula that says follow Caesar. And it worked well for those who were on the top seat. It worked well for the same people that it worked well for today. The elders, the bishops, the preachers, the pope. It works well for them. Many of them have limousine service. Many of them have jets. Many of them fly all over the world. Many of them have mansions. Many of them are filthy rich. But those who they're speaking to, they're receiving the same message that Jesus came and told the Pharisees. Hey, well anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that Palm Sunday, I believe, is indicated that it was one of the last presentations that Jesus had before his demise. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. During this time, those who were supposedly standing forth for God were those that were waiting to kill him. Couldn't stand them. He exposed them for what they were. See, they didn't really know God. They might have believed in God, but they didn't know God, which is the same thing that we have in the world today. Well, Jesus had to stand the test of time, and he stood it. And this message to any of us who are listening, the message to any of us who have some kind of God's Spirit alive in them that has not been demolished, can still hear that the things that Jesus went through, living in a sinful, evil world, are the same things that we will go through. But Jesus, my friends and sisters and brothers, went to that cross not for just talking, but for walking as well, which is an indication that we must do if we want to accomplish anything, whether it's our paradise, our dreams coming true, or whether we just reject living in hell. Jesus rejected living in hell. Those who have been given an opportunity to know God, who choose to accept that, will get tired of living in hell. But those who believe in God are confused. They don't know the truth. They are scattered everywhere. They are scattered in different denominations. They are scattered in different political parties. They are scattered against one another. And yet, they say they represent God. And this God that they represent will not allow them to come together unless you're on their side. And if you ask them what has your side produced, and it cannot give you anything that any other cannot give or can give. So my message to you today, ladies and gentlemen, is to offer to you to put God on the throne. Now, I know many of you are thinking strangely. I asked my wife, I said, when I say put God on the throne, I'm not speaking about me. She says, yes, you are. And if you think like that, you will say, yes, you are, but you know what that will do. If you think that I'm trying to put me on the throne, you know deep down in yourself, you are better than me. And you would never put yourself on the throne. So how would you allow yourself to support putting me on the throne? No, ladies and gentlemen, I am not concerned about putting me on the throne, because God is spirit and has given me the authority to stand before you to remind you that God is spirit, that it is God who created this thing we call earth. And this earth is a magnificent earth. This earth is able to present before you anything that you need to make your dreams come true. It was designed to do just that. This is a big garden where everything that man can ever need, whether it's above the earth, on the earth, or in the earth, seen or unseen, the Almighty Maker has designed it so whatever you might desire, or whatever God might desire, it will be able to manifest itself through those who are led by His Spirit here on earth. My friends, God wants you to know that human beings didn't just pop out from a frog or from a big bang. Human beings were thought out. Human beings were designed to accomplish a certain thing. And human beings were designed in a search of perfection, that you are what you are. This is the power of that unseen power, doing these kinds of things, but had a plan. And that plan was to instill in each human being a desire, something that they could do, something that they can contribute in this body wherever and whenever they exist, to play a part in the creation of all of the goods, all of the services, all of those things that are common amongst us that allows and are required for our continued existence. Food, clothing, shelter, education, health care. And I know many of you say, God, those who know God don't need doctors. But I tell you, that is true. But those who don't know God do need a doctor. And so God, in His infinite wisdom, decided that men should have health care. And so that desire, that lust for knowledge, that desire to want to be there to heal those who are sick was instilled in people who are doctors or in the medical profession. And they come into this earth by virtue, programmed by God, to come here and get that knowledge and establish the wherewithal that those who are sick can be treated. That's the love of God for we sinner people who don't know God. And everything else that we need, you know those things that are coming amongst us, it has been provided for. Now this is God making the world, making the earth, making everything that's in the earth available, making you to create these things that you need so that you can live. It didn't cost you a penny. God gave it to you. All you got to do is use your hands, use your mind, do it. And it's there for you. You're doing it right now. You're not doing it in enough. You're not doing it as good so it can continue to last. You're not doing it God's perfected way because you've been deceived. Rather than making this free as God has made it free to you, as free as the air you breathe. Before you polluted it, it was good. Usually as free as the water you drank before you gave it up. All of it free from God. And someone walked before you and says, don't give them that health care free. You can sell it. We got a system set up where you can make money off it. These people stay sick. We help them to get sick. We give them diseases. We cause them to be ill. You can get paid and you can live better than they live. Or if you want to start this business, don't open that business up so people can have jobs. Open that business up so you can make money. But you got to start by getting your money from me, see? What I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're smart enough to see it, is this. The system of government, social and economic, in America is no different than the system of government in any other nation on face of the earth. They are all scams. They are all led by so-called Madoffs. They are as Enron. They are just a Ponzi scheme. When Madoff went before his people and said, trust in me, I got this deal you can't lose, there were people who had a lot of money, who were so greedy, and they thought they were going to get ahead. And they jumped on that bandwagon with Madoff. And Madoff lived good, party hardy. But then the rug got snatched from under him. And the people who had trusted in it found out they were losers because they had been scammed. They didn't know it. All they wanted to do was get ahead. More than their brothers, more than those who couldn't invest, more than those who didn't know to invest. Want to get ahead. Heck with others. Want to get ahead. Why? Because they've been deceived to think that money is God. And money is God in this world. Money is God in the American system of government. And so, the powers that be come before the American people, putting some ideas through the means that they exercise. One speaking of conservatism, and the other speaking of the opposite, liberalism. And one would work to the interest of those who got, help them think that they can keep it. One work to the interest of those who don't have, thinking that they can get it. And so you put somebody before them to represent the Republican Party, put somebody before them to represent the Democratic Party, and they both came out of the same school. One tells the conservative, I can do this for you, I can protect you here. One tells those who are suffering, well, I can help you get above where you've been. And each one at odds with one another. Each one requires the same thing to live. Each one requires the same thing to be happy and fulfilled in life. But they're at odds with one another right now because they have been set up, led by a spirit that is uncommon, led by a spirit that is not of God. But they don't know God because no one's there to tell them about God. All they got are counterfeits. Counterfeit preachers who will be preaching today about God and Jesus and all of those wonderful things that Jesus did, but will not say one thing to you about what you have not done for God. And if they do say anything, they're talking about you don't come to church enough to get your more programming. And you can tell when your programming is set because now you're paying your money on time as they ask. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Republicans, Democrats, many of you have lived under several presidents. And you know they've all come out the same. And maybe you haven't lived for many presidents, but you've lived beyond the last two. One was a conservative Republican, George W. Bush. Did he make life better for you, especially if you're on the Democratic side? Did he make life special for you? So that means that the Republican Party is not going to do it for you. It doesn't matter who's in the seat. Now, I know you think that Donald Trump, those of you who are Republicans, I know you think that Donald Trump is serious about you. Donald Trump does not give a damn about you. Donald Trump gives a damn about Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump had to slaughter you, he will slaughter you if it means Donald Trump comes out on top. I know you don't believe that, but I'm just going to tell you what the Spirit tells me about Donald Trump. Now, you're sitting over there thinking that the Democrats, they're the big devils. And the Democrats over here saying that they got Miss Clinton. They don't know Miss Clinton and Donald Trump are coming out of the same tube, coming out of the same school, each picked to represent the powers that be, and it ain't you. But you sitting over here shouting for her. You're sitting over here shouting for him. like you don't have a bit of sense. You do have sense. You're very smart according to the indoctrination that you have received. But when it comes down to life, when it comes down to truth, when it comes down to what's right, when it comes down to love, you are as backwards as you can be. But you, my friends, have been trained and programmed to be just like that. My problem is with those amongst you in every category who call yourselves Christians, who call yourselves Muslims, who call yourselves the various names and titles that you come under in those fake gods that you live under. A fake God that says you can be a Republican and hate Democrats. Say you can be a Democrat and hate Republicans. Say that you can be white and hate blacks, or black and hate whites, or men and hate women, and women and hate men, or straight and hate gay and hate straight. You're from the pit of hell. I'm telling you, I would love to see you live your fantastic life. I would love to see you. I have committed 33 years of my life as spokesman to tell you that God is the only thing real. And I'm talking about a God that serves every human being on the face of the earth, whether in America or someplace else. And anything, any God that is spoken of that would deny anyone is a God from the pit of hell. Now you're talking about getting Miss Clinton to stand up for you. Miss Clinton is not going to stand up for you. You're talking about getting a Republican president to stand up. He's not going to stand up for you. They're standing up for the powers that be and being rewarded for it. Anybody that's going to stand up for you, going to be you. God is not going to stand up for you first. He's already prepared it. And all you got to do is stand. Stand and the power will be in your hands. Stand and say no more. Stand and say, I am the light of the world. I am the salt of the earth. I am a love letter to a dying world and mean it from the bottom of your heart. And ain't a damn thing you can do to stop me. Because one way or another, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Because there's not one single person on the face of the earth that say I'm doing something to harm them, their peace, to harm their prosperity. Yes, if they're talking about to harm their scam, you darn right I am. I want to throw them out with the wash water. Since I detest you can't condemn me on those terms, I'm feeling fine. The fact that you will kill me, as everybody knows, I'm ready to go before I be a slave any longer. I'm standing before you, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you that the time is now. Those people are setting up to destroy everything that you thought was right. Everything that you thought was proper, as wrong as you were, they are setting up trying to destroy that to let you know that there's some steps deeper that they can put you in. They've got some agendas set up. They got some Gladstones that are telling you what they're planning to do. They got presidents telling you how they're going to change things. You know things are not getting any better. And like a dumb dog, a dumb pet, a dumb sheep, you walking your dumb tail right in the pit of it. Yes. This is a Ponzi scheme. When you vote for Miss Clinton or you vote for Donald Trump, one of them is going to get in office and they will serve the power that be, and you're going to lose. And what are you going to say? Next time is going to be worse than this time. You thought Barack Obama was the fantastic, wonderful one because the media led you to believe that. Barack Obama hadn't done anything before, and Barack Obama has not done anything now except what they told him to do. Miss Clinton will do exactly what she's told to do. She's already told you that she'd do that. This dude over here, what's his name? Donald Trump? Exactly what he's told to do. Why? Because Donald Trump, even in his egotistical way, does not want to die. And they will take his butt off the face of the earth quicker than they did John F. Kennedy if he didn't walk the line. And he will walk the line. The thing about those who are led by God, they know the secret. They know the secret that the secret societies don't know. And this is why they're encouraged to stand before you and tell you to put God on the throne. Now, I can prove to you, those of you who are Republicans and Democrats and you're in love with them, I can prove to you that they are phony, that they are lying to you backwards and going, and they know they cannot do it. Check this out. Here's how you can check them out to find out for yourselves. First of all, you're going to have to start caring for other people, not just yourself and your family. Other people's joys are going to have to be joys for you because it's possible for you. Other people's pains are going to have to be pains for you because you can bet they are be coming to you sooner or later. So when you can extend yourself in those directions, then you begin to care. And you're going to have to come together in your churches or just in your communities. If no one comes to you, you're going to have to go forth before your neighbors, start talking to them, engaging them in conversations about those things that are so essential in life. How important it is that everybody share in them. And how disgraceful and distasteful that it is that they don't. And how it hurts you that those who say they love God have no more understanding about mending the situation than Harry, Duck, and Do. Tell them. Invite them in. Get them to see. They don't know any better. They've been programmed just like you. So go and give them the truth. It will be serving as salt. They will wake up. And then you go to your local legislators at the city level. Tell them about the people who suffering because they got no place to stay. Tell them about the people who can't pay their bills. Tell them about their children who are suffering because of the educational system that they're having to deal with every day. Tell them you want these things fixed. Don't just tell them. Require that they do it. And I guarantee you, if they exert everything that is available to them, they will not be able to comply. So that tells you that they can't do it. So the next thing, you take it to the next level. Beyond the county, go on to the state. And that means now every city within the state who are going through probably the same problems have come together, and they are going to the state and saying, these are the situations that we deal with. And we want to mend these things for our brothers and our sisters. Many of us don't have to suffer them, but most of us do. And so we want this thing corrected. And if, it won't happen, but if the state government decide to extend to you every resource that they have in trying to meet these needs, they will fall short. And see, you can see, don't care what they were saying they could do, they can't do it. But don't stop there. Take this thing to the federal government. Now you got all of the people in every city, all of the people in every state, and every state within the union, going to the federal government saying, these are the shortcomings of our system, our economic, our social system, and we want these things fixed, we want them repaired, let's do it. Make a long story short, if the government extend every resource that is available to them to meet these requirements or demands that you have, based upon the ties that we have with other situations in this life, they will not be able to meet your demands. So, what Ms. Clinton will say, the Democrats, what Donald Trump will say, the Republicans, are nothing but a bunch of lies. They know it can't happen. You hoping it'll happen. I come to tell you by the Spirit of God, it will not happen. Because it can't happen under those prejudices. The only way it can happen, if you the people say it can happen, mean it can happen, and demand it can happen, and stand up and take charge. Throw out those that prevent it from happening. Throw out those who can't see it happening. Get this money institution out. Money doesn't work in heaven. Money is not going to work on earth for you. So get that junk out. And I guarantee you, you put your hands as God has given you to put your hands. Put your feet as God has given you to put your feet. Put your mind as God has given you to put your mind. And I guarantee you all of this problem will dissipate. They weren't real anyway. They were all fake, sent there to deceive you, sent there to mislead you. Let me tell you one thing. You ladies, I don't care if you're skinny. I don't care if you're big and fat as you can be. You are the most beautiful creatures in the human form. I guess dogs got some pretty dogs to dogs. But in the human form, you are the most beautiful creation men can ever see. We will never, as men, be as beautiful as you. At least to men we won't. Maybe to you. But you are the most beautiful. And we love you for what you are. But this is one thing. When we live in a system that those of you who are not ashamed to flaunt your beauty. When you pull off your clothes and put on thongs and dancing and twerking in videos and putting them on the internet and all this kind of stuff and doing them in concerts just so you can pay your bills, that hurts those who are led by the Spirit of God. And we say, put your clothes back on. We, by the power of Almighty God, are going to correct this situation, and you don't have to do anything that God didn't direct you to do to have a wonderful life. And if you still want to pull off your clothes because somebody want to see you and you feel comfortable doing it, then that's right on. But don't do it. Don't let anybody drive you to do it. Don't let the devil tell you you can't live if you can't do it. I know right now the devil got a hold on everything. I know the devil got a hold on everything, and the government is the devil's agent. And all of those who have been talking about their religious faith are led by a God that is from the pit of hell. Now, I say led. That doesn't mean that they don't receive teaching or something doesn't come from the proper. It's just that what it turns out to be is straight to hell. It's straight to hell. Somebody might say, well, we only talk about Jesus. We talk about Christ. I don't care who you talk about. I don't care who you talk about. God don't care who you talk about. God acts on what you do. What you do speaks volumes of who you are. Now, I could go on and on, but I am so glad that you took the time to continue this video through its entirety. Now, when I say put God on the throne, I'm not talking about putting me on the throne. I'm talking about putting truth on this throne, putting righteousness on the throne, putting justice on the throne. That means that every human being right now, starting in America, we can't be going outside our borders till we get our own self in order. Every American, whether they're single or whether they're family, their dreams, which means that the things that are common amongst all human beings to live, food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare, that these things are guaranteed to one another by one another. We the people guarantee these things to ourselves, and we will not allow anything to come up and take it away unless God himself says no more. We won't let a human being stop it for his profit. And that also means that in order to meet these needs, that everybody will have a job that is workable. Everybody usually wants something to do. Even the people that's in the bed, incapacitated, want something to do. They don't just want to be lying in the bed. They want something to do to make their life valuable, to have purpose in this life. So everybody has something to do. And everything that is done is in an area where it helps complete that picture, that puzzle, that wonderful life. Everybody, whatever your job is, it is as important as another. No one's job is more important than another. Whether you are ranking around doing whatever some of you think is big, or whether you're doing what a lot of you think is nothing, little jobs, just a fool can do. Well, that fool's job is just as important as that job that you think somebody is big shot in doing. This is the new future that I'm telling you about, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you are having offered to you. Instead of these lies that the Republicans and Democrats are promising you. They are nothing but a bunch of fatback lies. And you who know God, and there are many of you who know God, let me tell you who you are. Those of you who know God are those who have found themselves in a situation where they were no longer supposed to be here. But by a miracle, and you know it's a miracle. Other folks might not, but you know it's a miracle. That's your indication. What about those of you who are on the battlefield? Remember, people who are falling all before you because they can't make it, and here you are. You might be wounded, but you're still here. And if you escaped any wounds, you sure enough are here. You were not saved by the government. The government used you to do its dirty work and promised you an education if you went in. God gave you an education free. These people don't give a darn about you. But God saved your life. Well, you say, well, what about the others? Well, on the other side, you were killing people. They died. Somebody had to die on the side too. God is not biased about that. But when he saved you, just like those over there that he saved for a particular purpose. so that you will know that God is real. Those who go to church and hear somebody talk about people in a book, talk about people who God was able to speak to and they did things and words were written about them and they read what somebody said about them, talking about, no, that's belief. That's why, and I'm talking to you plainly, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking especially you Christians. I know about you. Been with you for about 65, 66 years. That stuff you're talking about you believe, I'm going to give it to you like this. There was a white lady who called a young black lady together, and they sat and they talked, drinking some tea. She said, sister, religion and the Bible is not for you. It's not doing anything for you. She said it was designed to keep people oppressed. It finally worked its way to America, but when you heard, your ancestors heard about the Bible, about God, say you were having everything that was you. Your culture, your language, your religion, everything was being beat out of you. While your master had the Bible in his other hand. And for those of you who wanted to move up a little bit while you are slaves and wanted to help the master out, he would allow you to preach. You wanted to be somebody. He allowed you to preach one of three messages. One, turn the other cheek. Why would you want to turn the other cheek? Because you keep on taking whatever comes your way. The second was, obey your master. Obey those that got rule over you. Everything's going to be all right. God's designed it this way. Don't you worry. You're not real. You're not a real person. You're just a part of a person. And then the other one was, if you just keep things cool, when you die, God's going to reward you for it. And that's all you've ever heard. You hear the Bible stories your whole life. Every Bible story been told by your own preacher, if you've been there for a while, 100 or more times. Just Bible stories, Bible stories, Bible stories, Bible stories. And nothing about get up off your butt and defend truth. Oh, you go around, well, I don't lie. It doesn't matter whether you lie or not. You're following a lie. So if you're following a lie, you're still empowering that lie. Will you admit that that which you is following is a lie? No, you can't admit it when you don't know it. Somebody got to be bold enough to tell you that it's a lie. But it's no good to tell you it's a lie if they can't show you the truth. You've heard it here. You've heard it here. Now you can go ahead on and vote Republican or Democrat, or you can stand up and demand that these things that I've shared with you that are truth are covered. And if Miss Clinton can't do it, and she can't, because the Democratic Party don't know anything about that. If the Republican Conservative Party can't do it, and they can't, because they don't know anything about that. It has got to come out of you. And that will basically mean, ladies and gentlemen, a new constitution, a new whatever else that you need to guide this thing through, you will need it. And don't say that's asking too much. Because the New World Order already has a plan for you. And it's already changing the rules. They got presidents and stuff who've been put in office to change these rules. It has been being changed ever since you've been here on this planet. It has been in play. And it's trying to get it done today. And they are telling you that it is going to be required that humans be wiped out on the face of this earth. Many of them, many of you, not just here in America, but all across the globe. They're telling you we're going to have to kill. See these people over here who playing God? They don't know the potential of God. They really think they might have came out of a bank. They don't know the potential of God, so they limit things. And they figure, well, we need this, so we got to get rid of those other people. That means our bloodline can live longer. But see, God says that's another lie. There is plenty in God. When one thing runs out, God got something else for you to introduce. God, and it ain't fake. It's not generic. It's all real. Now, stand up. You might say, well, what's the standing up mean? Standing up means getting the word out there. Standing up means before this election comes down, everybody knows that the Republican and the Democratic Party cannot deliver. Everybody must know. The Democrats must be exposed. The Republicans must be exposed. They cannot deliver. They are lying. the Democrats, and you swear to God that if your person that got in, they could have done it. And that's a phony lie as well. No, it's in your hands. You can take charge. There are a lot of you who are smart out here, who have nothing to do with government right now. You can come up with these programs. I just given you the outline. You can come up with it, and you, the people who have heard me, know the truth well enough to know if somebody come up with an outline and inject something in there that is false, that is rotten, that is cancerous, you eliminate it. Don't let it go a step. Now, I think I've given you enough information, so clear, that if some of these body problems that I've got right now that might say, well, it's time, Eddie, for you to go and take my life, when I get this on the internet, I will be satisfied that I have done at least the best that I could do. I cannot make you do what I've been willing to do. I mean, I've gone to jail. I've gone to prison. I have lived in poverty. I am living in poverty to prove my commitment to truth, because I know it can change anytime you decide that it's not going to change for the one. If you change as a one person and say you're not going to take it anymore, the only way you can do it is do it with the devil. God is not going to help you in the devil's world trying to survive, because you're going to only survive under the devil's rules. The only way you can do it for God is that you come together, you unify yourselves. To everybody that wants this change, you unify yourself with them. And you ain't killing, the devil kills. God gives life. And I'm not going to take you there, you're not ready for that yet. Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights. Body, you have served me well for 66 years. And I want to thank you. I want to thank God for the body that I have. It has served me well. And if it now is overcome by something that I did, I don't hold my body guilty. I hold me guilty. But I'm liberated from this guilt because I'm living in hell. And I'd rather live anywhere than to live in hell. So for those of you who know that I'm telling the truth, who in power, and you say this nigga got to go, oh, don't let me stop you. Bye-bye.